refresh. Well, it'll be in them videos. It say live, or it say build a tank. Where it says uploads, up the top. Yeah, I'll send you a link to it. I sent you a link in TeamSpeak. I sent you a link in TeamSpeak. Yeah, you can see it now, yeah? Oh, this is me broadcasting live. So that's the Egg Panther 2. Yeah, this is me, yeah. Yeah, that's the clan logo for the game. And that just shows me the weak points of the tanks. I put a mod on that changes the skins. Because there was a couple of new tanks that I didn't know the spots where to shoot. So I put the mod on and it just shows me. I've got to take that off actually. Yeah, if I want that mod on, yeah. Yeah, the Rudy. It's the only tank that put a dog in. It's like a historical true story behind this tank because they actually carried a dog with them in the tank. But come on, I've got quite a few tanks in there. Yeah, not the dog, no. It's not all about the heavies in this game. That's a heavy. 32. T32. Well, yeah, you'll start with a tier 1 and you work your way up. That's a tier 1. No. You'll only play your tiers. You won't meet other tiers. So look, for instance, this tier 1 meets tier 1 and 2 tier tanks. My tier 2 tank will meet tier 2s and 3s. My tier 3 tank. And tiers 3s and 4s. Or sometimes 3s and 5s, depending on what tank you've got. But you'll never see like, you're allowed 3 tier difference. So if I was in a tier 7, I'd meet tier 10s, possibly. You get experience or research points. I'll show you that right now. Hold on. Let's go to the tech tree now. Each nation has their own set of tanks, obviously. Such and such, blah blah blah. So for instance, German. Tier 1 is here. This is the tank you start with. So if I get, I don't know, a couple of kills or shoot some people, I'll get points for that. Or if we win, I'll get points for that, research points. Then I can spend them either on getting a gun, a turret, radio, an engine, or some tracks. Then I'd move on to the next turret, or gun, track, whatever. So on this tank, for instance, I'll get my next gun. Once I've got my next gun, then I have choices. Do I want to go for artillery tank, tank destroyer tank, a light tank, another light tank, or medium? So for instance, starting from this screen, my next tank could be either one of these along the top. But basically, you work out where you want to go. So if I wanted the Leopard 1, oops, go back. If I wanted the Leopard 1 down here, I would follow this line down. If I wanted the Mars, for instance, then I'd follow this line down. So you can pick where you want to go, it's just grinding. You work your way there eventually. Each battle you do, you'll get experience or research points. It really isn't. It really isn't. Yes. There's tanks in here that are prototypes. Basically, any tank built or designed or whatever might be in here. I mean, pick a tank. Hetzer, that is the... Let's show you that Hetzer. There's the Hetzer. And the models on these are amazing. Yeah, there's a delay mix, so... That is small. These are scaled, by the way, Mick, meaning that if they, I don't know, say if they're 6 foot tall, in game they will be scaled down to 6 foot tall. So for instance, if that's the Hetzer, let me bring up a tiger or something. Where's the tiger? Where the fuck's the tiger? There it is. There's the tiger. There's a delay mix, so you have to wait a sec. Yeah, green's a weak spot, yeah. But these are, all this stuff's only coloured because I've asked it to. When you play the game, if you play the game, you'll just see the colour of the tank. Yes. Well, it just helps, man, sometimes. I don't need it now, I don't really use it, so I just haven't uninstalled it, I'll just leave it on there for when the new tanks turn up and I don't know where to penetrate them. You download this mod and it puts it in there for you. It's just like a couple of clicks, man. It's nothing really. Yeah. Yeah, someone's got to design the skin or the overlay. So when they get the tank, oh right, okay, we haven't made one for that, we'll make an overlay. They'll paint on the stickers or the weak points or whatever you want to call them. And then they'll upload it and then you download it and it puts it onto your tank sort of thing. Not exactly. The person who makes the tank is World of Tanks. World of Tanks make all the tanks. We put all the tanks in, how they work, how much ammo they had, how many rounds they fired, how often they fired it. Fucking, you know, it's very fucking. Like, for instance, you've got gun depression to think about. You've got to think about the aiming time. Then it tells you how much shell that particular shell did. Down here, for instance, you've got different gun types that they used, and each gun obviously carries a different shell. Each shell has its own damage. JS2, IS2, yeah? That is actually a premium vehicle, a special vehicle in this game. Yeah. Let me find it. Where the fuck is it? Russian. So there's the IS tree. This one. Because it goes from factory when they built them. Because basically the IS come from the KV, didn't it? Yeah, so KV1S, KV85, IS, IS3, T10, IS7, blah blah blah. The IS2 is, yeah. No, yes, but it's a premium, so it's just in a different section. That's what the IS2 should look like. That's because my crew are trained to load that faster. You yeah, well, there isn't an overlay, but it's pretty much simple, man. You'll learn the tanks. It'll tell you. I can show you actually. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It tells you about the tank. Firepower, survivability. There you go. Whole armor, 100 front millimeters, sides is 90, and the rear is 60. Turret armour 100, sides 90, rear 90. It has 1,280 hit points. I mean, anything you click on, it tells you the details. Yeah. So yeah, that's the IS-2. It's the IS. Pretty much the same tank. It shows you where the engine is and where the radio man sits, where the commander would sit, etc. See, the whole armour on this is stronger on the front than it was the IS-2. Obviously because of the fucking, probably because of the tracks and shit like that they put on it. The armour angles were different. IS-7, though, it's a massive fucking tank. Whereas that's got 150 millimeters up front. Sorry? IS-7. Yeah man, this is a beast. This thing will rip a tiger apart, mate. There's probably my mic dying. My mic's probably dying. But yeah, the weak point of the IS-7, the belly pan, the green bit. See, in the games like this, you've got to hide your belly pan. You've got to think about your tank. Yeah, but if you do that on this game, it won't work. Because the belly plate on the Tiger is strong as fuck. Except for the lower glaciers. Yeah. Let me put it on German. The Mars. That's what you call a fucking heavily armoured tank. Yeah, I've got, how many have I got? Hold on. I own 39 tanks. Obviously, I've researched tanks that I don't own anymore just because I don't want them. I just sold them, but I can still go back and buy them and have all the equipment and shit I had before. Yeah, or the ones you enjoy, whatever. It's up to you. Whatever you research and buy is yours. You can do whatever you want with it. Fucking dirt. It's proper nasty because of the HG and the gun on that. It really fucks you up, that tank. I don't own it, but I want to get that. So there he is. Let's go to the gun. Look, average damage. 700 HP. Okay, so basically how this works out is you got the damage, you got your penetration, how much armour you can penetrate, and the rate of fire, how many rounds you fire in a minute. So for instance, 700 damage on that shell of armour penetrating of 110. So anything with 110 millimeters of armour or less, I will penetrate. Anything, and it will take 700 hit points per hit, or more, sometimes a little bit less. So if I had a tank that had 700 hit points with 100 millimeters of armour, I would penetrate it and kill it instantly. But say if the tank had 800 hit points, I would take 700 or roundabout, and it will still have 100 hit points left. Well, yeah, it was a fucking massive shell, wasn't it? But yeah, that's for the 152 shell. See, I can have the 122 on this, or I can have the 107 gun on this. Let me show you. I didn't know it actually showed you the gun changing. So 107 looks like that. The 122 looks like that. The 152 looks like that. So that's a tier 6 vehicle. So in this vehicle I will meet, it can be anywhere up to 2 or 3 tiers higher. So I'll probably meet tiers 7 and 8s or tiers 9s. Now let's show you a different tier. What was that, KV2? Which is a tier 6. So the higher tier you go, the more armour you've got. So it's like when you started with KV1 and then it evolved into the IS, they go up tiers. So the IS. Now the KV did 700 damage to 100 millimeters of armour. Now if that KV was to shoot me in the front here, in the frontal armour of 120 millimeters, he won't penetrate me unless you can each game you win, you get credits. You win credits to maintain your tank, to buy ammo, to repair it, and so on. Now 4 credits, I can buy APCR rounds, which penetrate higher than normal rounds. So I might penetrate 120 or 130 or something with the KV2 instead. In that case, I can penetrate the frontal armour, but with standard rounds I might not be able to. So I would shoot it in the side, for instance, or in its weak spots, or in the arse, 60 hull armour. So it's not just about shooting tanks, it's working out where to shoot the tanks as well. I mean, if I shot this IS-2 in the track, I'd track him. Then he'd have to wait for the crew to repair the track before he can move again. But he can still move the gun and still fire and everything else, but you can't move the tank. So, yeah, sort of thing, yeah. Yeah, but we can repair these. It depending on your repair skill, because you get different skills with your crew. They are. They're not. The crew's only there to give you numbers and skills and shit. But when you're in game, you're in control. There is no inside of the fucking tank moving around, fucking switching positions bullshit. You can go into scoped mode, which is turret barrel view or whatever you want to call it, or you can go into driving view with just by scrolling in and out on the mouse like that. And basically, in normal mode, you'll be driving like this. You'll control your tank with the A, S, W and D, and to move your turret left and right, you simply just move your mouse left and right, or up and down. When you go to shoot, you zoom all the way in, and it brings you into the scope, or the hard scope view, whatever you want to call it. And then same again, to move that, you move your mouse around, and you just use the mouse buttons to fire. You can still operate the tank in that view as well by pressing the A, W, S and D. The turret. Yep. Yes. No, it's all one. Yes. Right, so. Yes, but they only tell you where the enemy is because it's relaying a signal from one tank to another, because of the radio in your tank. And it shows you on your mini-map to make things easier, because you're not going to sit there and listen to one tank artificial intelligence tell you where it is, where you don't know the map. So you have a little mini-map, and once, for instance, say if I was behind a wall, I won't be on the map. If I move out from the wall and the enemy sees me, that signal will get relayed between tanks and show me on the minimap. Now, each radio has its own range. You have a view range, a radio range and like a general range. For instance, if I got spotted at 500 meters from an enemy and my friendly tank sorry, the enemy's friendly tank was at 600 meters. They will not see me on the map or in game until they move into that 500 meter mark. Obviously, because they're either out of view range or radio range. And you can be concealed. You can be trained to drive the tank. They say it's trained to drive the tank, or they were trained to hide, or they were very good at hiding during the war, or whatever. They would hide behind bushes, etc. Whereas some tank destroyers and some tanks and artillery would use camo nets, which they threw over their tank. Now you can get. Where's my tank destroyer? Let's pick a tank destroyer. I want to do. So. Yeah, so it's a piece of equipment that you can equip, and basically it just helps reduce visibility. And also you have to hide behind a bush, obviously. Make sure you're concealed, and you can sit there the whole game hidden until you're spotted. But there's checkpoints on the tanks, basically, which means there's one at the front, one at the back, one on the side, one on the other side. Then there will be two other checkpoints, one on the centre of the turret, no matter what tank it is, and one on the viewport, which is, I don't know, here. Now these are invisible. And basically this is the spotting system. Basically how it works is, if your checkpoints, the front, the side or the rear, are out of the bush, not hidden in the bush, then you can get spotted. But if you hide them checkpoints, then you won't be spotted. And the viewpoint checkpoints are the ones that physically find the checkpoints to spot a vehicle. Yeah, there's a video if you want to watch it, if you like the game mechanics. But at first, you'll get used to it. Once you learn how the game plays, then you'll think, right, well, obviously, yes, I have been spotted, or yes, that was stupid of me of coming round that corner when there's a big fucking massive tank there with a bigger gun and I'm in a piece of shit. You just get used to it. You're going to start with lower tiers and you'll work your way up. They get stronger. Each tank has its own characteristics. Gunslinger plays it. We've got 3 Swedes that play it. We've got about 3 Americans that play it. These are all SHG members. Well, Gunslinger, Swede Lars, Fat Boy, me, Catfish, Man with Stuff. You might not remember Man with Stuff. Who else was there? I've recruited a couple of Dutchmen. They play this. So basically you've got a few old and some new. No, I'll show you what we have. We generally don't have all them players on at the same time. So normally, in your friends list, you can have 3 people in a platoon. So 3 people as a group. So once them 3 people are in here, you start a battle and they will be taken into battle with you. Or you can have what's known as like a team battle. Just click on that. Where the fuck is it? I think that's the right one, I can't remember. What one is it? I'm sure it's this one. No, it's not that. Yeah, create room. So in this one you can have 7 people, and this will be against another platoon of 7 people that someone else has made. So it could be SHD 7 players and another clan GTR 7 players or whatever. You can make your own platoons and play against platoons, or you just go into the big wide open one which is 15 people a side. Well, the game will match you up against same, well, it's not always the same, but close enough, matchmaking and same tiers. It will always match you with the right tiers, unless you, for instance, I'm in a tier 10 tank, you're in a tier 1 in a platoon, and I drag you into a tier 10 match. That's when it goes fucky, but you don't do that because you get penalised. So say if you was to start with your tier 1, right, so yeah, right, so I'll take my tier 1 tank, okay. I don't play my low tiers really anymore unless I'm starting a new tree or a new tech tree to follow, and then I'd invite you, such and such, blah blah blah. So I'll be in my tier 1 tank, you'll be in your tier 1, and we'll go into a battle with other tier 1s or tier 2s. Or if it's a tier 7, we go into a battle with tier 7s, 8s or 9s. Yes, but you've got to remember you'll be playing against other people, and you will have other people on your team in game. But yes, you can do that. Oh no, you'll never be put in a tier 20 match. It'll be... I think you're getting mixed up with tier and level now. Basically, tier means that tank is tier 1. That tank will meet tier 1s and 2s. Okay, I can never put anything higher than tier 1s or 2s into a tier 1 match. It just won't happen. Yes, yes. So say if I fully upgraded my tier 1 tank with all the fucking bells and whistles, and then I wanted to play with you with a tank with nothing but it's just tier 1, then yes, that's possible. but you can only assist so much. I can't stop you getting shot. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. But it doesn't mean to say I will survive, because they've got a good chance of hurting me as well. Because, yeah, yeah. It only goes up to tier 10, by the way. But yeah. I mean, I weren't too sure about this game at first, and I've got into it, mate. It's so good. You, yeah, I played it when it first came out as well. Yeah, well, in the beginning, mate, you've really got to stick it out. You're gonna die a lot, so you don't know how to play. I mean, I get killed a lot. It's just when you play better, when you think, oh, I'm not sitting out in the open waiting to get shot, I'm actually in cover, waiting for my opportunity or whatever. You just got to play smart, mate, really. Well, on this, you'll drive through walls, buildings, you push down trees and fucking squash cars and shit. Yeah. Yeah, I know, I've seen it, it's ridiculous. Yeah. You can actually make them damageable, but yeah, I won't go into that. Well, I made that in Red Orchestra, and I made destroyable walls, fences and all of that. And I even did it with trees. It just means like a tank, it just means adding the collision box. If you damage something so much, it'll either disappear, or you can make it, what's the word, an animation or a mesh. So the undamaged mesh would be standing up, and the damaged mesh will be laying down. So once you cause its damage or you destroy it, it will be laying down rather than disappearing, or you can just have them disappear. It's up to you. But yeah, man, I've fucked around with all that stuff. It's not hard. Yeah, I bet they don't destroy exactly where you shoot now. I bet if you shoot a shell, it doesn't make a perfect hole, it just takes a massive chunk out or something. Yep. Yep. I know that because I've tried it. that's not. Yeah, man, that's not hard to do. Okay, so I'm going to play a game now. Don't distract me. I said don't distract me. See, look, I'm a tier 7 with tier 9, so I'm towards the bottom. Probably going to die very quickly on this, so I'm too aggressive. I've actually fucked up here because I'm trying to show this. I'm trying to get across it. But after a while, you get used to the maps and other things. See, so with this tank, the weak point's the body, but my turret is very strong, so if they shoot my turret, they'll probably ricochet my shot. Well, the end, yeah, you'll see them in a minute, buddy. That's only because the tanks in front of me have spotted them. When you see the yellow numbers come up on the screen, that's me penetrating tanks. So I'm gonna chuck out the bastards. So I've got so many tanks in front of me now, I've got to be careful. Tank destroyer, that's fucked me right up, took all my health. That motherfucker hurts. He's fast and he's got a very good gun. But he's got weak armour because he's a light tank. So my teammate's trying to cap the objective now, which means the others will have to attack. Or yeah, they will attack the cap. And then I'll just be sitting there waiting. See, they have no choice but to attack us now. Don't want to move it, but we're gonna. The other guys have no choice but to run or attack us. That was a really good game for me. So at the end, it'll tell you what tanks you shot at, whether you assisted in helping them, whether you spotted them, if they used their armour against you to block your shots, if you caused any critical hits like taking out equipment, gun, viewports, tracks, crew members, etc. It tells you if you penetrated and how much damage you did. And it tells you whether you killed the tank. And you get team score, which is like the leaderboards. So for that game, he did the most damage. I'm down here. This cunt did fuck all, he's a useless prick. This is how many tanks they killed. This is how much experience you've earned. This is the experience you earn when you research a vehicle or when you upgrade your equipment. But if you look at experience here, I earned the most experience because I'm the most experienced player then. Because I was hiding my tank, I was sitting back, I was making use of my armour, I was using my tank how it's meant to be used. Yeah, so I'm most experienced actually on both teams if you look at that. Because I'm just fucking awesome. Yeah. But it doesn't mean to say I'll do that all the time. Sometimes I'll be at the bottom, sometimes I might not do no damage because I've got tracked and all the enemies see me and they fuck me up. Or might get hit by artillery and get one-shotted sometimes. You know what I mean? No. No. That's for the one game. So that's how much experience I earned for that game. So that experience, if I didn't have tracks, for instance, and it cost 22,000 experience, as soon as, no matter what experience I get, even if I got 405 experience, it'll build up. You'll build up your experience. I'll show you. Mine's already fully done, so mine changes to something else, but my total experience in that tank is 52,311 until I spend it, and then it'll be back to 0, and then it'll go up next time I play the tank. Yeah, I'll show you. Tech tree, American T29. Right, so here you can see I've gone from that track to that track, then 2 engines to that engine. So if I had the stock engine in this tank and I played 19 games like how I just did with 1,000 experience, that would give me 19,000 research experience, which I can then purchase the engine. But also, yes, it makes you go faster. So the engine power on that one's 800. Chance of fire on impact is 20%. It weighs 569. Okay. Now if I go down one, it's 760 engine power. The chance of impact's the same. It weighs less. I'll go down one more. 720 engine power. Chance of fire is 20%. It weighs the same. But each engine, it doesn't show you here, but each engine, considering the weight of your tank, mobility, gives you, there you go, engine power, which is the top one, specific power for moving turrets and shit like that. But there's my top, where's my top speed? There's my top speed, 35 kilometers an hour. My reverse speed is 12. Now with a lower engine I might just do 30 kilometers. It's pretty realistic in that sense. And your crew experience is the same thing. It goes up the more you play in that tank. They're trained, they're crewed for that tank. If you was to throw them in another tank, they wouldn't be trained and they'd be shit. So you keep them in that tank and they get better and better, and once you get to 100% on the left here, which doesn't take long, you'll get a skill. Now your skills have different characteristics. This one, for instance, Sixth Sense, enables the commander to identify whether the vehicle has been spotted. Now, if I train it to 100%, every time an enemy sees me, I'll get a warning saying I have been spotted. So then I go hide. If I didn't have that skill, there's like, it's random what percentage I've been spotted. Sometimes it might not even come up when I have been spotted. So once you get that, you'll know you've been spotted or whether you haven't. Sometimes you get spotted, sometimes you don't. But if you naturally think you might have been spotted, then, oh, I see a tank, hold on, I just went across that field, he might have seen me. Well then, yeah, it's common sense, you go hide or something. Another skill may be concealment. So basically the higher concealment percentage, the less chance I have of getting seen. the more crew that's got the concealment, it's what's the word, cumulative or some shit. Like each person that has it, it adds to the percentage of the overall concealment. Yes, they are. Yeah, they're AI, but I'm still in control. They're just like skills for the tank sort of thing, if you know what I mean. Well, I actually fixed the bots in IRO and they were too good. They would take out a professional player in a couple of hits. But anyway, I won't go into that. Yeah, sort of thing. I mean, you can play artillery. Artillery is different. You can still drive the tank how you would normally, but when you go to shoot, you press a different button and it takes you to a overall look down on the map view. You still use your mouse, but the aiming circle is looking down on the map. So you'd find an enemy target after your team has spotted someone. If they haven't spotted someone, obviously you don't know where to fire. So once they're spotted, they will appear. You move your aiming circle over the enemy. You wait for your aiming circle to shrinken, which makes you more accurate. Means you won't miss. Once your aiming circle's to the lowest it can, then you can fire. Sometimes you can fire a little bit early, but I don't advise it. Now also, that enemy could disappear. It might be behind a bush. Your friendly player might not spot him. He might have gone back into cover, so he can't see him. So there's always that possibility that the tank will disappear as you're looking at him. Yes, and still kill him, yeah, if he doesn't move. But that's up to you, that's your own judgment. But with RT, you need to hit them pretty much dead on or just a little bit off, because otherwise you won't hit them, you'll miss. But sometimes your fire, you have to wait for your shell to travel to the destination, so you're waiting 3 to 5 seconds or whatever, depending on how far away they are. And by that time they might have moved, so you're going to miss. That's basically artillery. You could shoot tanks on the move, so if you put your two hands apart in front of you, one's the tank on the left, RT's on the right where you're going to shoot, so if you judge him, like lead the target, by the time he gets to that spot, and the time your shell gets there, you should hit him. That's basically how you play RT. Yes. It tells you in your crosshair. So if I move the crosshair or looking down on myself, the flight time's, I don't know, 0.5 seconds or some shit. If I move it away, it'll go up. So if I move right across the other map, it'll tell me 5 seconds, so I've got to think, hold on a minute, how in 5 seconds, judging how fast he's going, is he going to be there? He might stop before he even gets there. It's just like, judgment. That's artillery, but when it comes to tanks, it's different, isn't it? So, yes. Yeah, you can hear it, but it doesn't mean to say that he's shooting at you. He could be shooting at anyone. But Yeah, but you don't know where the artillery's going to hit in RO, do you? You can hear it in the sky. Yeah, it could be. It's like in anything, though. You don't know. Yeah, but with this, you'll just hear maybe a bop in the distance, but you're too busy concentrating on what you're doing. So basically, how you play with tanks is, if you think, if you know you've been spotted, you're a chance of getting hit by RT. RT can't hit you until you're spotted. Also, if you're in the open, you've got a good chance of getting hit by RT. But if you're in cover, if you're next to a building, how the fuck's the RT going to get you? He can't. He's going to have to shoot the building first. Well, it's not. Yeah. You don't have to give it up. You can always play other servers that haven't got all that bullshit, can't you? So, but I get what you're saying. I said I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's unbalanced. But RI was unbalanced anyway, but now it's even more unbalanced. No, I mean RI and RP. See, I know exactly how that game works. I know how it's supposed to work, which no one has ever been able to achieve. How RO's made it work, and how that works, and how his fucking shit works. That, and that's also knowing how DH works as well. I know the game mechanics. There is no safe bubble around you or the tanks in that game, meaning that it's completely random. Even if I set the side armors to 100% all the way round the tank, there's still a possibility that I can kill you with one shot. That's just how the game is. Yeah, that's because that's that's because they've by the sounds of it, they've obviously set certain tanks or certain files to be used in certain matches. Meaning some matches the Allied tanks might be better, some matches the German tanks might be better, or he's trying to make it more realistic. Oh, in that certain area of this time of war, the Allies won, or the Germans won because of this tank, that tank, or whatever. Whereas what it should be is, obviously we all know that German tanks were far superior anyway. Some were completely piece of shit and set on fire and that. Some of the Russian tanks were just the same. It's just trying to find that balance. What should be done is, the tanks should be set for a light tank, for instance, have 50 health. On the enemy team, 50 health. A medium tank have 100 health. On the other side, 100 health. The heavy tanks have 200 health or something on both sides. But they're not matched. There's no balance. Yeah, well, that was should we say, a script or a coding error back in the day when the tank was released. And what they've done is they've obviously copied that over and just changed what they wanted, not realising the bug was still there. Whereas my one, I knew that bug was there and I fixed that and I took that out. And I completely recoded the fucking thing. Ignorant. It's bloody ignorant. That's why I stopped working with him, man, because he was a cunt. I'm biased. Yeah, of course he would, because he knew they were stronger. See, that's why I only played the IS-2 and the Panther, because I knew they were the strongest two tanks in the world. I mean, then I started playing the Tiger, because I knew how to angle that and make that work effectively. I would never play an 85 or a 76 unless I had no choice. Yeah, fuck them. Yeah, I mean the Americans will be coming in a minute, I'll be speaking to them. Yeah, and I normally head on about 12 o'clock. No, but you can tell them who you are and where you've come from. And they'll welcome you anyway, Mick. There's no bullshit here. If anyone gets any problems, I'll speak to them and sort it out. So. But get old Joe in here and try and speak to Blimp and anyone else you can get hold of. Yeah. Yeah. I might play some more. I don't really know. I only wanted to show you. What? Oh, what you mean in the video thing? That's because they're just about to release the Swedish tech tray. Because if you, because there isn't none at the moment. Yeah, they'll be out in a few days, the Swedish tanks. It's finished. It might have just froze or the stream's finished. But yeah, you can fight any nation against any nation. And that's a Jap tank there, if you can see it. On the white bit, it depends on what your colour code is, like Legend. But the white on in this mod, or the skins, is ammo. You can see the ammo icon there. So this doesn't mean to say it's going to be the same on every mod. It's just this mod that these colours mean these things. So red is the engine, yeah. So the whole of that section, you got a chance of hitting the engine or fucking up the mechanic. The engine at the back still, obviously. Green tracks on this one. So that would be the running wheel. If I hit that. Same with the front. Driver's position in this tank. See his viewports there. Then you had, looks like radio operators in these positions. And this is where they would sit in a historic tank. They're not just going to say, oh, this is this. They'd actually try and put it as detailed as possible. That's the gunner's position. It doesn't mean to say he sits on this side of the tank. He might sit in the middle, but it just shows you across. But on this side, yes, he does. He sits on the left. The commander sits to his right. The loader sits behind them too, at the back there, in this tank. So yeah. I mean, all tanks are different. IS. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. So the IS has got 4 crew members. Commander, gunner, driver, loader. Now obviously you'll still get the radio, so one of these will be operating the radio. But if I go to my German tank here, let's go to the Mars. Well, actually, let's go to the Jagdpanzer E100, the fucking German beast of a tank destroyer. This thing's fucking huge. It's got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crew members. In this one I've got 2 loaders. Certain missions, there's some special missions you can do. And I've got female crew members, so all the crew members in this are female. Because they were awarded, they're like a bonus for you. See, female crew members have got a special skill called Sisters in Arms. It's kind of like, sorry, Sisterhood of Steel. It's kind of like Brothers in Arms for the male crew. But the female crew members are slightly better than the males. So I've got a full crew of females there. So if I was to put a full crew of male in there, the girls would be far superior in that tank. Because they're special crew that you can win or you unlock. But yeah, man, some of them are quite good looking. You can, yes. You go to the personal data, you can change the name of your crew. I could call someone fucking whatever I wanted. I mean, my name's in this game. My name's in this game. Let me go to I don't know. Kylie Minogue. I'm sure Kylie's in there. No, Kylie's not in there. Oh yeah, their names are probably in there. Male crew, for instance. Daniel. Oh no, sorry, these are German names. Fuck's sake. Let's go to an English tank. No, not that I know of. I mean, you might, yeah, you can, look, sorry. You can put your own names in. See where that is? See where I've highlighted it? You just delete that, type in what you want. Second name there, type in what you want. But I was just showing you that my name's actually in the game. I'm sure your name's in here somewhere. But it depends on what nation, because each nation has their own common names, don't they? So that's pretty good. Robertson, there you go. So you'd set your name. This costs more. This will cost you gold. You can't. You buy gold. You don't earn gold in the game, but you don't have to have it. You can just go without it. You don't. It's not a necessity. If you think, oh, I actually think of spending £5 on the game just because I can. I'd rather spend it on my game than go buy a lottery ticket or some shit, and then you'll get X amount of gold that you can spend on certain special things. Or equipment for the tank. Some of them cost gold to take off of the tank. Yes, you can send your crew to the barracks if you want to. When you sell the tank, you'll get money for the tank, obviously, or you'll get money for the weapons that you've upgraded, or the shells if you've still got rounds sitting in the tank. Or some of it you can take off and store it in your depot. Yes, but obviously when you buy something new, you pay 400. You might only get 300 or 200 when you sell it. It's like with anything. It's like when you buy and sell a car. Yes, sort of thing, yeah. No, that's what they're named, warrant officers. British warrant officers. Yeah, but because there's the classes there, class 1, class 2, class 3. It's just I don't know, the ranks and the names or whatever the fuck it is, the ranks. And there's class 3 there. Oh, I don't know, man. I ain't arguing it. See, now, yeah, I think they've just done that for the game. See, each crew you get, no matter which tank, say if I had this person in my tier 1 tank, and every time I've upgraded, I've moved into the next tank, and the next tank, and the next tank. It keeps his stats. Each crewman has their own stats throughout the whole game, and they get their own skills. Yes, but they will need training. Sorry? Yes. Otherwise they're inexperienced and they can't use the equipment properly. But that means then you would have to put someone in the tank before that, or sell the tank before that. So yeah, so this is a tier 9 artillery piece, British FV 3805 artillery piece. There's only one more tier. So from tier 1, this crew has been moved every arty piece upwards. So for instance, the commander, this is how many battles he's had. He's had 674 battles. His average experience, his total experience, this is throughout his gameplay. The skills that I've learned. How far they've progressed, etc. The training level. You can actually change their major qualification, whether you want them to be a gunner now, a driver or a loader. You can switch them throughout the different tanks. RT to RT, blah blah blah. Or you can put them in other tanks. Heavy tank, there you go, Chieftain for instance. But you must train them. To do this one you need gold, but normally you just keep the same crew. So if it's tank destroyers, they can go in any tank destroyer with credits. if you want a tank destroyer crew in a heavy tank, you need to use gold, which is unadvisable because it's just stupid to do that anyway. So that's kind of how that works. No, this is the artillery piece. Chieftain. What's that? English? No, there's only one chieftain in this list. I think the chieftain's a special tank. Well, no, look, there's two chieftains there. I don't know how they put these in game. I actually don't think they're actually in game yet. I think they're waiting to be released. They might be in the Xbox game, yeah, because they're released earlier. But I can still view the tank. There's a T95 chieftain. That thing's fucking mental. It's so well detailed as well. Yeah, I like his fucking eyes at the front there, it looks like a fucking crab. The other chieftain. They're a bit different. There isn't one because it's not in the game yet. These are like previews. I mean, you don't need to overlay them, really. It just helped me for when I was getting back into the game. There's a chieftain T95 rather than a T95 chieftain, which is slightly a little bit different. Oh yeah, they're not in the game yet. Oops. Well, there's three different chieftains there. There's a chieftain T95, elite medium tank. There's a chieftain, elite heavy tank, that's the Mark 6. Well, there's a T95 chieftain, heavy tank. So one's a medium, one's a heavy, and the Mark 6 is a heavy. There's three chieftains there. But I mean, it's free to play and it's free to download, so it might be worth just downloading it just to see what they've got anyway. So that's another thing I better do. Is send you the actual link. Obviously, there's tanks that you can buy. if you want them, like special tanks. Everyone's allowed to have their enjoyment. Some won't be available for all people. But these premium tanks, the ones you actually buy with money, give you more in-game credits when you win. They train your crew faster or better, etc. So if you pay money, you get a bonus every time. Okay, but yeah, that's that bullshit. Try and take it to the main page. Yeah, they were, yeah. There's a video there. Well, there's a load of videos on this site that tells you how the tanks work and how the game works itself, how the mechanics works. It tells you all the stuff that's coming out, all the stuff they change. They keep it pretty well detailed. Via my graphics card. Yeah, because I'll show you. How do I do that again? No, it's not that one. Where is it? This one? Yeah, that. Because my graphics card's like top of the range. I've got certain features on mine where I can virtual reality, broadcast my gameplay, stream my gameplay, optimise my gameplay, blah blah blah. So I can upload it on Facebook, fucking YouTube, wherever, really. What, you bought the new Titan X? What, the one before or the new Titan? Yeah, there's two types of Titan. There's the old Titan or there's the new Titan. Pascal, yeah, you've got the new Titan X. You fucking greedy motherfucking rich motherfucking bastard. That is the top of the line graphics card. You don't just want to be playing Red Orchestra on that shit. That thing can play amazing games. Show you shit you've never even seen before. That's the next one up from my one. The only difference is you've got more memory on board. That's it. Yeah. Whereas mine's 8. There's not much difference. It's slower actually. It's slower than my graphics, but yours got more memory on it. You'll never use all of that memory. never. But yeah, man, that's cool. That can run anything. It tells you in GeForce Experience, in the NVIDIA thing. The NVIDIA thing on the bottom of the screen. Your graphics thing. Like this down here. This icon. So click on it. Well, run it then. Well, run it, yeah, obviously. Yeah, and just click on the gear. Settings gear at the top. Yeah. So I'm going to stop broadcasting.